Crimes against morality are a category of crime that is considered victimless because there is no direct victim. Moral crimes are crimes committed with consent from the individual that usually goes against the norms of society. Morality is the difference between right and wrong. A recent example of a moral crime is Donald Trump's request to have military airstrikes against Syria. This is considered a moral crime, although they are trying to put an end to a 6-year civil war. They will be killing a load of other civilians while doing so. The intentions are for the greater good, however the lives lost therefore make it a crime. Another example of recent crime was on the 31st of March 2017 when 2 women were arrested for working as prostitutes in a spa. Both females were sentenced to 3 years in jail. Although they consented to this as it was completely self-organised, it still goes against the law and therefore both females had to put jail time for their actions. The reasons why people commit moral crimes can be explained by criminologist theorist Walter Reckless. Reckless states that people have internal controls that stop them from being deviant. Therefore, if you are committing a crime against morality, your internal controls aren't being used and therefore you have the free will to decide to do whatever you want, therefore causing these acts to be committed. Another reason why crimes against morality are committed is because according to the biological theories of crime, it is a form of illness created by the pathological factors. This can then relate back to Reckless's theory because if your internal controls aren't being used, it could be because the person is mentally ill and therefore their thought processes are completely different to the ones of a sane mind. This can have many effects on the victim. This is because the crimes that are being committed to them seem okay as they are doing so for the greater good, however it can still be against the law. It can make them feel shameful for what they've done as it goes against social norms. It can make a victim feel worthless but also uneducated. This is because most people don't realise that small crimes such as underage drinking are in fact moral crimes because people don't think that what they are doing is harming others, so don't choose to take any notice of the law itself and therefore not report it.
Cybercrime has two definitions, the close and the wider one. The close definition is defined by all sorts of crimes where IT has an important role for the execution, such as spying, interception, computer fraud, sabotage, data modification or destruction, and all that sort of stuff. And the wider definition is defined by all crimes and illegal actions that are not crimes, but that are using computers and should be illegal, such as video and music piracy. Plus the closer definition, of course. It also includes computer and internet criminality, which is like copyright violation and selling of illegal substances on the internet, exchange of pornographic or violent glorifying propaganda. One of the latest examples is the Operation Animus by the EC3, which is a cybercrime unit by Europol, which was a cooperation between EC3, FBI, ICE, and Eurojust. In the end, about 400 hidden surfaces were taken down, some people were arrested, and about £1 billion were seized in several things like bitcoins, cash, drugs, and everything. It was against the Tor network and dark markets that exist there, because the Tor network itself isn't illegal, but they were selling things like firearms and humans there. The reasons to commit a crime are often just the thrill of the game or just to violate something like an authority or individuals. The effect on you as a victim are the loss of data like identifications, usernames, passwords, and sometimes even credit cards. Loss for data and loss of money for ransomware, which is like a virus that encrypts your whole hard drive and says, pay me, for example, 500 bitcoins and I'll decrypt it again. Why is it unreported? It's often just unreported because he's embarrassed, or they resolve the problem themselves by just reinstalling the operation system and to restore your files from backup. But how can you prevent to be a victim? Just always scan all your files, email attachments, and don't look for viruses, even when you trust the person who gives it to you, because they could have been hacked. For example, use an ad blocker on all your browsers and antivirus software.
Hate crime is a crime motivated by racial, sexual, or other prejudiced feelings towards other people. Hate crime would usually involve violence, and they are targeted at a person because of either their race, disability, religion, sexual orientation, ethnicity, and so on. The main victim of hate crime typically is African Americans. In 2010, 48% of hate crimes reported to the police were directed at African Americans. Hate crime can be caused by changes in people's environment and society. Some people who do not like the changes to their society may be revolting and are deciding to target prejudice at people who are different to them. Prejudice targeted at African Americans usually stems from slavery back in the previous 18th century in Balfour, and this racism still stands today, being passed down from generation to generation. Hate crime can have a major impact on an individual's psyche and on their self-esteem, as it can instill a form of terror into their minds and as they fear that it could happen again. Hate crime can even affect the community on a whole. These will create divisions and factionalism inside communities and are extremely damaging to multicultural societies. Hate crime can also affect a group, say a religion of Christianity or others, and it can instill a form of terror into their minds as well, because they as well are scared of being attacked. Hate crime can be linked to Lombroso and his theory of crime. Lombroso's theory is that all criminals are born criminal. He created a list of features that make a person born criminal. He compared Italian soldiers with Italian prisoners and used his results to fund it. One of his most controversial features in his list is that people with dark skin are born criminal. This controversy could have heavily influenced hate crime in society today and in the past, as he was a very big thing back in the past. People will associate African Americans with crime, as this is what he's decided for part of his experiment. This hate crime can also be sociologically linked to Becker and his theory. He uses the labelling theory to label them as criminals, even if they are not. An example, if your friend stole something and you associate with your friend, you can also be labelled as criminal as well, where this can lead to them deciding to be a criminal further on down the line. Labelling a person as a criminal can also affect them, as they will decide to do more crime. And if this is another factor of hate crime against black people, as over the years black people have been stereotyped as being the main people that do crime and not white people.
What is the definition of your crime?
Domestic abuse is an incident or pattern that consists of someone being controlling, threatening, degrading, violent behaviour and sexual violence. It is usually between a partner or ex-partner and can include family members or carer. The main victims of this crime are usually females.
Are there any interesting statistics?
On average, domestic abuse victims will be assaulted 35 times before they make their first call to the police. Domestic abuse will either start during pregnancy or intensify. This can be the woman or man who becomes the abuser. In the UK, 20% of children have been exposed to domestic abuse in their life. Women who take time off work due to domestic abuse-related injuries cost the UK $1.9 billion per year.
What are the main causes for domestic abuse?
Many people blame their violence on their past experiences as a child, especially if they have had an abusive childhood themselves. Others blame their drug and alcohol misuse as a reason to justify their abuse. Stress plays a great role.
Is domestic abuse influenced?
Domestic abuse can be interpreted by the psychologist Mandura as he studied influences on behaviour from the outside environment. He stated that people copy from each other and learn how to behave through others. This would prove the claims that most domestic abusers have been abused in the past. Edward Sutherland also touches on the idea that people learn from others, and he states that criminal behaviour is learned from intimate personal groups. The biological side of the crime would claim that domestic abusers are often choleric and phlegmatic people, as they are short-tempered, easily angered, and lack emotional expression.
Honour killing is a crime mainly committed in families. This crime is committed by a family member who is trying to defend their family reputation. Honour killing is mainly murder. They kill the person that is bringing shame to their family. This crime is mainly committed in Africa, Asia, and without being stereotypical, Muslims also do commit this crime. Even though we are in the 20th century, the amount of honour killing has decreased. The main reason for honour killing is either someone, who tends to be mainly girls, is refusing to marry their family's partner choice. Another reason for honour killing is when the girl has sexual intercourse with a man before marriage. There have been many honour killings that happened in the UK. A girl named Tulay was murdered in 1999 by her father. The reason for her death was because she ran away with a Turkish Kurd twice the age. Her father disapproved of her choice, so he kidnapped her and killed her. After 10 years of an unsolved case, Tulay's mother has given evidence to prove Mehmet Gören, the father of the victim, killed her. Like the theorist Albert Bandura said, children tend to learn their actions from what they see and what they learn. Like, for example, the Bobo doll experiment. The kids did what they saw, so this could lead to honour killing. They could be grown up knowing that they can't bring shame to the family, and if they do, they have to commit honour killing.